What's up, running fam? On this edition of Talks with Tiptop, I'm chatting with New Jersey runners and Green Bay Packers fans, Natalie and Connor. This running couple shares how they inspire each other, how they incorporated running into their wedding, and yes, I know we're in the middle of summer, but they give some great tips on winter running gear. And Natalie shares us her story with scoliosis and how today she's proud to show off the scar on her back. You don't want to miss this. I hope you enjoy our chat as much as I did. All right, so Natalie, Connor, thank you for joining me today. How are you guys?
Doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, doing well. I got a beautiful sunshiny day.
I was about to say, I'm super jealous.
It does feel like it is like 94 degrees, so I start sweating a lot. Just keep talking.
How's the humidity? Is humidity high or you got low humidity?
We got a nice breeze. Today's low humidity. Tomorrow, I think we're seeking 100 degrees. So, yeah,
no.
I wouldn't be enjoying that one too much. So, not running tomorrow. Not planning on it. So
we got lucky this morning. We had 70 degrees of humidity, so it was like that's fine compared to like the 95% humidity we were dealing with in New Jersey last week. So 70% is just like, we'll take it.
So you guys now live in New Jersey. I've seen, so I'm a Packers fan. You guys, I know you rep in the back, like you've been to Lambeau. In the wintertime, you wear the Packers beanies. Are you from Wisconsin?
I am from Wisconsin. I'm from the Milwaukee area. And my grandfather got season tickets back in the 50s. So still going to games. The more I talk about Wisconsin, the accent will just come out. So I'll warn you right now.
That's okay.
But yeah, we Connor's first Packer game. It was the starting game time temp was 9 below zero. It was pretty awesome, gotta say. Yeah. And we actually we went to a Packer game the day after we got married this past November, and it snowed the whole game. It just turned into a giant snow globe, and it was absolutely beautiful.
And the Packers won, so that's always good too.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So then how does running then for you guys? Were you each runners beforehand? Was one more of a runner, or were you each like, hey, I signed up for a 5K and I was just another date for you guys?
I would say we both did. We both ran in high school. We were both, I would say.
You were a sprinter.
I was a sprinter, yeah. So I was, I started 100, 200, and then I kept on slowly but surely creeping up before they were like, no, you're more of an 800-meter runner, not like a 100-meter runner, so get out of the sprints. But yeah, we kind of both did in high school, and then kind of went away for it, I would say, during college. And then, it was just one of those things where Natalie used to work for Walt Disney World, so we had always had like the Run Disney things. Races on our mind, so I was like, well, why don't we just do a half marathon? Just why not? That'll be fun. And full disclosure, neither of us had ran more than 5 miles before. I mean, me being like 800 meters runner, it was always just like, and the sprinters you guys are doing, tap out maybe at like 4 or 5 miles for the day, and then you guys are good. So it was new territory, I would say, for both of us with the half marathon, but it sounded exciting.
Okay, so I guess a couple of questions just, bouncing off the top of my head here. So 5 mile. Okay, so when you were in that 5th mile, I guess with Run Disney, there are a lot of people, and there's the characters, so you obviously got to like take photos with them. I've never done it. My fiance has. She loves it. I think one day we plan to do Dopey. I don't know, but when you guys did it, when you got to like that mile 6 marker, were you like feeling it, or were you like, oh no, I got a lot of energy still just from everything that's going on around me?
I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of adrenaline going, and I like kind of said, I did the Disney College program in school, so when we got to backstage areas, I was so distracted, like, oh, I used to go there. So that was a lot of fun for me. So it took my mind off of what we were actually doing.
It took your mind off the remaining 8 miles, so to speak.
Yep.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So growing up in the Midwest and growing up in the Northeast, winter running. Love it, hate it, just got to bear it.
Controversial opinion.
We love it. The summer running is very hard for us.
It is actually, yeah. I mean, I I'm the type of person who I sweat so much that people look at me afterwards and just like, how was that swim? I was like, So no, I think we just love getting bundled up, and the ritual of just like laying out like all the layers of clothing that you have to put on, and plus it's pretty cool because our like Lambeau field gear also can double as our winter running gear, so it's like multifaceted purposes there that kind of works. But yeah, no, I would say we've come a long way with the summer running, I would say. So I think I would say so far, knock on wood, this has been probably one of our most successful summer campaigns so far with running. So I think we've been able to acclimate to it so much better than in previous years, which has been nice. But yeah.
What kind of, I guess, so say like I got a job in like the Northeast or Midwest, and, I run a lot, but I want to run outside. What like tips or like gear would you guys recommend for winter running? I know we're in the middle of summer right now, and it's ridiculous to even talk about, snow and winter and 10 degrees, but, do you got any advice kind of in that realm?
So I'll bring it back to the Packers for a second. We have these Packer hats that are, all over our Instagram. They are fleece lined, so they really keep your head nice and warm. And that just kind of has a trickle down effect. We're like the winter runs are like never without a Packer hat. They're just the perfect accessory.
Those are the sideline gear apparel. So it's exactly what the pros are wearing on the sidelines. So if you see it on TV, look at the whatever, insert your favorite team's pro shop here, and then you probably can get that type of hat in your favorite team.
Yeah. I think the other one I've found is Oiselle. They have this amazing mitten. I found mittens are better than gloves because your hands are together more. It's like their power mitten. It is the most, in like 20 degrees, my hands sweat. I'm not making that up. They are just the best. I did take them to the Packer game. They are the best mitten I've ever found. So between that and the Packer hat, those two things are what usually get cold on me. So it keeps the rest of me pretty warm.
That and a nice pair of tights. Get a nice pair of tights and tights and some like nice, really, really nice socks that will keep you nice and warm. That you're pretty good to go.
Yeah.
I would say.
Socks are key kind of in that point. Did you normally like layer up the socks where two, or you just kind of go with one and then maybe a compression?
I usually do the compression socks.
Yeah.
That helps with the layering. I just like to wear them in general because I think they look cool too. But
all right, we'll get out of the winter. We'll warm up here a little bit. How many races have you guys run together? Have you like calculated that?
Oof.
Total. I don't know.
Total? That's a good question. I know we've done 9 half marathons together, and we've done so many between 5Ks and we did like an 8K.
I bet we're nearing 20, or if not.
I was gonna say like 30. I would say would be my guess. Yeah, we've probably done 30 races together. Would be
in your apartment or your house, do you guys have like a metal rack displaying like all your guys' medals together?
We do, yes.
I have a very unique way of wrapping it around so that they kind of hang like one by one going down.
And
so then, I can fit them all.
And then because we both get the same medal on races, what we did, I think it was the first year that we were in this new apartment that we're in currently, and because we basically had 2 of every medal, so we bought this smaller tree, and we basically just hung all the extra medals on the tree. So that was our victor tree.
Nice. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to steal that.
Please do. Yeah, no, I'm sure we got a photo we can send you somewhere. It came out really, really cool. And it was just like fun to be like, oh yeah, another purpose for the medal, because we didn't want to hang up like 60 medals for every like race that we ran in.
So you may not know the exact number of races, then this may be a stupid question in the essence. Mile-wise, have you guys calculated, like so many miles per year together at all?
Oh, that'd be a fun exercise.
That would be a good fun exercise. We have to save that for part 2 or something like that.
It's helpful when Garmin, you can just kind of, or Strava, you can just go back and be like, okay, I guess I ran.
Calculate, yeah. I mean, gosh, it's got to be thousands. It's got to be thousands of miles, I would say.
when you guys are running together, are you guys like listening to music along the way, or are you guys just chatting?
We don't listen to music when we run. It's funny, we were kind of joking how when we were preparing for our wedding last year, we actually did a lot of our like planning while we were running, which was it would just we'd be running and it's like, so I had an idea for this part of like the reception area. Yeah, there you are.
Okay, cool. So I guess I'll just leave my profile up here. You won't see me sweat. When you guys are running together, are you listening to music, or are you guys just talking with one another?
Yeah, I would say we don't really listen to music when we're running together. It's usually just chatting with each other, I would say. Actually, we actually did a lot of our wedding planning while we were running, which was kind of funny. We would usually like kind of like chat about like different things, like, oh, we really need to probably reach out to the florist, or, you know, have we heard back from the videographer yet? So the next thing we know, we were kind of planning our entire wedding on the run, which funny enough, also, when we would talk about the wedding, our mile splits also like increased a little bit. So it was just kind of interesting to see how all that excitement, I guess, got let out in that way.
Yeah, I bet that was like super helpful too, because I bet you'd like get back from a run or maybe like after a week and you'd be like, wow, yeah, we cranked out A, B, and C planning. And
It'd be cool because, I mean, we would get up early and run before we would, pre-COVID, commute into New York City for work. So it was kind of a good way to kind of like get like that together time to kind of talk out some of those things.
Just the ideas that come to you while you're running, it always amazes me, just the creativity that just pops into your head while you're, you know, trudging along.
Did you guys include running in the wedding at all?
Somebody ran down the aisle.
I
won't say who.
I mean, it was a trot down the aisle more than anything, I would say. But, you know, super excited. We did. I mean, there was a couple I always joke in our wedding videos, Blu-ray deleted bonus features and like the deleted things that were cut from the wedding. We originally had an idea of doing. We actually thought we were going to have 13 tables, which was like so perfect of all the number of half marathons we ran. So we were like, oh, that'd be really cool that if each table was like a different mile, and then our like sweetheart table was going to be the 0.1. That was kind of our like idea that was kind of got thrown left on the cutting room.
But it was a good idea.
When we had more than 13 tables, so it was like, okay, well, we can't do that then.
I know, you know, 2020 wasn't everything that everybody was hoping, but did you set a running goal, I guess, prior or around the new year, and did it change, or you kind of twist it in some fashion?
Yeah, I would say it was very much. I mean, obviously, we're recording this the day after Chicago was just canceled, which we were going to run. That was actually going to be our next second marathon together. So we had a lot of ambitious goals for what we were hoping to do with that. And then ideally, we were going to go from Chicago into the Dopey marathon in Walt Disney World for 2021. But with COVID and everything, it's just, you know, it's tough, but, you know, you kind of adjust accordingly. I think at this point, we're continuing to train to run 26.2 virtually for Chicago. So just because, you know, you need to do something during the day and keep yourself from going insane at this time.
We're already starting week 6 of training, so I kind of want to, you know, finish what we started and finish strong, even though there's no race. But that'll be an added, I'd say, mental challenge for us.
Yeah.
Without having an actual physical race. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I would say other than that, you know, it's, you know, the goals for the year, just keep running, stay healthy, and just, you know, keep having fun with it.
Yeah, that's a great mental approach. And yeah, running, I mean, is such a mental sport as it is physical. And is a good transition. Natalie, I know you are big on like spreading awareness for scoliosis, but also celebrating your achievements. race after race and mile after mile. Can you just share some of your story with us, and like how have you been able to share like your experience?
Sure. So when I was in middle school, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. One of my thoracic curve was about 52 degrees, which is pretty high. So I had a spinal fusion when I was a freshman in high school. And so I have 2 stainless steel rods on either side of my spine to literally like straighten it out. That middle curve is now 26 degrees, so literally got cut in half. And it never really affected me throughout, high school. I could still run with it. Now that I'm getting older, I notice a little more things muscular that affect me. Sometimes with breathing, like if it is a very humid summer day out, taking a deep breath can be a little challenging because how the scoliosis is, like my shoulders are very, rounded, and just how my body's proportion, sometimes taking a deep breath can be very challenging. And just, every once in a while I take a deep breath and I feel the rods, and it's a little weird. But outside of that, I don't know, running a marathon in particular wasn't anything I thought I could do, but I never thought I couldn't do it necessarily. It was just like, I didn't know how my body would respond to it. I think I did okay. I've had a lot of PT recently just to help build up my muscles, since they were, particularly my back was literally kind of cut in half, and that muscle will just never be the same as it was before. So in addition to running, I do try to make sure I strength train. And it is very specific on my back and just keeping the muscles as flexible as possible. And I'm also, very aware of my posture as well. But I'm very proud of my scar and like to show it off. My wedding dress had a beautiful open back. I will gravitate towards any open back dress I can find, or shirt, or anything. Haven't quite gotten to the sports bra squad step yet, but I will rock my scars in many places as I can. So.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm sending you some like major praise hands right now. That's like, you should be rocking it. That's something else. Have you like had the opportunity to like just talk with maybe young women who like went or are going through like what you were going through?
I back in the day after I had it, I did a few events. Shout out to Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, and all that they did for me. They had a wonderful setup over there for talking with other younger people who were going through this. But that was in the pre-social media days. So there are a lot of great organizations I found out just on Instagram, and just all the particularly young girls, because it does affect them more. Just using, hashtag scoliosis warrior or scoliosis strong. And just seeing what they're all doing, and just they're all connecting online. That's, I don't know. I jump in when I can, and I do appreciate a really nice scar picture. Because it's just one of those things that, depending how severe or where the scoliosis affected your spine, the scars are also different and unique. And seeing how people celebrate them is really interesting to me. So I really enjoy that.
It was really cool because I recall just at the end, it was at the end of this year. It was the end of this year or early this year. Actually, Children's Hospital reached out to Natalie, and they featured her in her wedding dress, and the fact that she did kind of run a marathon, and they shared it just on the social media sites. And it was just really inspiring to read all the stories about kind of exactly what you were talking about, people who were just like tagging people and saying like, oh, this is something you need to see. Like, this is something just to give like a sense of hope, and just like a sense of like, this is something that you can work for, and this is something you can do, even though, it's a huge life event, but that doesn't mean you're not capable of being able to run like a full marathon. So for me, that was really an inspiring moment, and probably one of the proudest things I've seen share from with Natalie and her story. So that was really cool.
How does she inspire you to like keep moving forward?
I mean, it's pretty good to have your running partner, keep you accountable, I would say. You know, we've both had mornings where one of us like gets up and the other one's just like staying in bed, and then it's like, okay, I'll give you a couple minutes, and then 10 minutes later it's like, okay, we have to go. It's like, oh, I really don't want to. It's like, yeah, I know, but you know, we gotta be accountable. We gotta just get the mile in. You're gonna feel so much better if you get the mileage in than if you're not getting the mileage in. We actually had a funny thing when we were commuting into the city. We would take the train, and we had a thing almost like a run karma thing. So if we didn't run, that conveniently were the days where the train was just more horrendous than usual. So we would start using with each other. It's like, if we don't run today, we are going to have a horrible commute, and then we're going to feel like 15 times worse. So we need to go and get this running.
It is the morning coffee, after all.
Exactly. Yes.
And Natalie, I do want to come back. Are there races out there that like promote awareness or like raise money that maybe you have run or maybe haven't run, or that you know of?
You mean in like particular to like scoliosis or scoliosis? Not specifically that I'm aware of, but I know Children's Hospital of Wisconsin does a 5K. I think they've upped it to a higher distance as well, called Al's Run,
yeah.
which I volunteered at when I was in high school and college, I think. But I never ran it because I was scared to run a 5K at that point. So it's funny to think about that now.
It's only 5K.
It's only a 5K.
When was the strength to run a 5K like afterward?
I don't know. I was an 800-meter runner in high school, and anytime my coach put me in the mile, I was like, why? How things have changed.
Okay, well, for you guys have a dream race or a dream location that you would love to run?
Oh, geez. We were, it's crazy when COVID makes you think of crazy things, I would say. Also to go off of that, to start with that, but we also were very fortunate that we just got our honeymoon in right before everything got shut down. And we mean like everything got shut down. And we just went to New Zealand to spend about 2 weeks there. And we actually left the same day that California announced the state of emergency. Wow. So we spent most of our honeymoon, I would say, like when we had Wi-Fi, we were basically just checking in to see like what was going on with the pandemic, because it was kind of a little scary just to see like all this news kind of come out and just even wonder like, do we need to leave early? Like, are they going to start shutting down the airports and everything like that? Luckily, it didn't happen. Luckily, we were able to get back literally a couple days before things literally shut down. But I would say definitely a race in New Zealand. It sounds like a really, really cool idea. You've gotten really into you want to do a trail run. Yeah, I've been really reading up during COVID on like trail running and ultra running and whatnot. So I've crazy enough to think like, yeah, I did a marathon. So, what's another 20 miles or so?
I don't quite have that aspiration, but I will be part of the crew to help you out. For me, I don't know why Marine Corps is on my bucket list. It's just one of those races that I don't know. I just feel a really strong pull to for whatever reason I can't explain. And obviously we have to do the Disney World Marathon at some point because we just have to.
You guys, would you think of doing Dopey? Would that be a part of the marathon, or we would do like, obviously going to Disney World's awesome, so you'd just do 2 separate trips? Yes is
my quick answer. Period.
I was opening up to the idea of doing it, pre-COVID, doing it in 21, coming off of Chicago, and kind of having that base built up, and then just trying to maintain to Dopey. Sadly, that'll have to wait for another year, but I would entertain Dopey.
when you guys are, oh, sorry, I guess the New Zealand, that'd be awesome. Yeah, honeymoon. That's a good choice, I would say. Was that just amazing?
Just it was just incredible, and then just read about like all the stuff way they like handled COVID was just so inspiring and everything. But oh my god, it was just the trip was just incredible.
Between the food and the wine, the craft beer, the hiking, we flew into Auckland and drove all the way to the tip of the the bottom of the North Island, and then took a ferry to the South Island and drove all the way down to Queenstown. It was just,
the sights were incredible.
I'm running out of
it's
words.
just I think we're basically just wondering like, okay, so when can we actually go back?
Yeah, we're doing pretty well. I wouldn't mind living there now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of craft food and wine, or craft beer, sorry, food and wine, either of you have a really good go-to splurge meal after like just finishing either a long run or a race?
Oh geez. Well, beer, absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. Like beer is like just perfect after, especially like in the summer. Oh man, just perfect. Just crack that open. But I would say definitely like, man, we go for like anything after a long run. Like, pancakes are great. Waffles, donuts, like you name it, I could just go for it. It was when we were first training for Disney Half, I would just get these weird cravings afterwards where like we'd be like 7 miles into a run. I was like, I'm just like, omelet sounds great. And then that would just like power me through for like the rest of the run. And then as soon as we stop, I'd be like, we're going home. We're having a egg white omelet with spinach. And that's going to be it.
Yeah, I usually, when we get to like halfway through our long runs, I would start to think, what do I want? Do I want pancakes? Do I want egg? Like I start thinking about what I have a taste for, and then, okay, what do we have in the cabinet? What can I throw in an omelet? I usually don't mention it on the run because I'm never sure if Connor will actually want to talk about food while we're in the middle of a run. So I just have conversations in my head about what I really want to eat.
Yeah,
I don't really have a splurge meal though. I gotta say, it's
I'd be up for it.
kind of just go off whatever I'm in the mood for. It's usually something salty.
We were at what was it? It was the New York Marathon. When we ran that, I was expecting to have just like a huge craving for like beer and pizza afterward. But surprisingly, that was like the one race that was like, I think because we had to get up so early, we commuted into the city, took the ferry, did everything, and then we actually ran the race, and then had to get out of the city. So that by the time we got home, it was just kind of like, do you want anything to eat? It's like, no, I
don't remember what we did.
just want to go to bed. I think we split a beer and then we just like went to bed. And that was like the end of the marathon.
And then the next day you wake up and you're like, was that a dream? Did I?
Yeah, exactly. And then you see the medal. It's like, okay, that happened. Okay, we can confirm that happened. Right. I do remember we did actually go to a diner, a New Jersey diner, the next like morning.
Yes.
And we had that was a great breakfast.
Okay. That actually, I was going to lead into that. So when I go to like somewhere to like run a half or a full, there's always like, I always got to look up the foodie places. Where's Guy Fieri been? Where the top spots? What's going to still have brunch available? Do you guys A, do that, and B, was there a place that just kind of like, lived up to your expectations of like, yes, like if we ever go back to this city, I need to go there?
Oh man, that's a great question. Yes, we definitely look up places, and at least this one does completely, and pretty much tells me I know I have got like 4 places that we're going for it. And so I'm just usually along for the ride with that. But usually it's usually has like craft beer, or it's got like some like really good breakfast option. So yeah, I would say geez, I think of places that we've been.
I'm trouble thinking of some actually.
I mean, Milwaukee's got like a ton of incredible eateries alone in there. We went to Colorado for a brief trip last year. They had some incredible places that we ate. Orcas Island, I mean, yeah, there's just, I'm blanking on like a specific go-to at the moment, but just it is part of our decision process making. I'd say if we have like a destination race, we definitely are looking up the food options and seeing what would be a great like post-run place to go.
All right, well, taking that kind of a food option, spinning a 180 here, shoe options. You guys run in the same brand, or is one of you a Brooks and the other is a Saucony?
I'm a total Brooks person, as evidenced by my Run Happy shirt. I ran in Brooks for our first half, and I just have not done anything since. I'm a big fan of the Ghost. I've branched out to the Glycerins. And yeah, I don't know. I've tried on a few other shoes, but never kept them because I didn't like them, and I just kept coming back to Brooks. They were just the perfect shoe for my 10 and a half narrow foot.
Which is really funny because I'm like I'm the exact opposite. I've got like a wide, like thick bear claw of a foot. So for me, like I've ran in Brooks since I've been in high school. So the Glycerin and the Ghosts have been my go-to since forever as well. But I've been branching off recently into Hoka, One One as well. And let's see, yeah, I would say I just got a pair of the what was it? Wow. The Clifton 6, probably a couple of months ago. So that's kind of become more of my like recovery shoe. And yeah, other than that, yeah, Brooks. Yeah, those two I would say was kind of what keep us running.
Do you each own a couple different pairs of shoes, or are you just like, I'm running in one shoe and one shoe only, get to 300, 400 miles, and that's like, it's life, find a new shoe?
It's funny because actually right under our metal rack is we bought like a small shoe rack where we literally just put our running shoes with everything. So, I mean,
nice.
I would say, yeah, each of us probably keep at least maybe 2 or 3 different shoes in rotation.
Yeah, I think I've got the Glycerins I save for long runs. And then I've got a pair of Ghosts that I usually rock. And I just bought another pair of Ghosts to kind of interchange those a little bit to make them last a bit longer.
Oh, and also have a pair of the Hyperion Tempo that we just got, which are really, really nice. Mm-hmm. Nice shoe.
All right. Well, only a couple more questions here. Kind of like to ask everybody this because, nobody's perfect. What is something that maybe you're like struggling with that you're trying to improve, or, maybe struggle isn't the right word. You've just been doing it more because it was like, oh, I needed to stretch more, or I needed to roll out more, or X, Y, and Z. You either of you have that. It's okay if you don't, and you are perfect, and that's, fine.
I'd say the strength training is still one of those, like, I do it, but still like finding the balance with the running and just being consistent with it. When I kind of realized that like after my back surgery, I didn't have physical therapy actually, so my shoulders were still super rounded forward, which, as early on in running, that does make it very hard to breathe when your shoulders are very, very rounded. So doing a lot of like PT exercises. I have so many, but we were able to like kind of naturally, pull my shoulders back. So I do work a lot on that, but then, there's the strength training I do to make sure my back and my shoulders stay healthy. Then there's the running strength training as well. So trying to marry those two things a bit has been challenging. It's one of those things I just keep, plugging away at. Done a little better since we're now all like work from home and have been for the last 4 months. But yeah, finding that sweet balance between your running training and then the strength and cross training is still just like a mystery to me.
And then, yeah, for me, I would say stretching. I've definitely have noticed, I feel like when I was younger, I was able to get away with, maybe, shake my leg out maybe once or twice and then be good to go. But, man, when you get older and you're like, especially when you've got jobs where you're like sitting all day, we were both fortunate that we both had jobs where we got standing desks, which made such a huge difference to just not be sitting all day. But now that we're home, it's like we've got like just we're sitting back in our chairs and everything, and I can just feel it in my hips. Like, it's just so tight. We also invested right when we got back from New Zealand in actually a Peloton bike. So we've been really starting to incorporate a lot of their pre-run and post-run stuff into our kind of routine before we kind of head out the door to run. And then that's been hugely helpful in trying to, you know, take some yoga classes and everything to just really just like get some relief to some of those aching body parts.
I agree 100%. I think, yeah, my fiance and I, we dived in on the Peloton, like that free trial that they had.
Yeah.
Stretching has come up so clutch, I'll tell you. Like, yeah, I've stretched more now than I had like in the previous like 3 years. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually like kind of like limber. Advice to those like who want to start running. You know, do you have anything that you can share? Like, you know, even like as like, you know, both of you ran in high school. So, you know, being the high school kid, you know, sure there were some days where you felt like you didn't want to practice, and, you know, it's like, okay, getting out the door to do that. But now it's like, oh, I love running. It's not a chore, so to speak.
Yeah, just, you know, it's one of those things where it's just take it slow when you're just first starting out, and just, you know, just find that consistency with it. I know we started with Jeff Galloway's run walk program, and I know that's also popular with like Couch to 5K and whatnot, but, you know, they're really great programs to really kind of ease yourself into it. And I remember when we ran our first half, and we still do, I would say, with we still use like at least on our long runs, I would say a run walk method at times to kind of just, you know, help us get there. And I've had a lot of friends of mine who kind of come up to me when I tell them like we run like half marathon or like in marathons, and they're just like I don't think I could ever do that. It's like I don't think I ever can run a full marathon or half marathon. And I was like, well, if you frame it in the thought that you're covering the distance instead of running, like whether you're walking for like a couple miles of it, whether you're running for it, like as long as you're covering the distance, you're getting across the finish line just like anyone else. So I mean, it's just, you know, something that you just got to try and just, you know, stick with it and find some consistency with it, and, you know, find the fun in it. You know, everyone has their, you know, like reason that you run type of thing, but I mean, you know, just you'll find that through consistency and just practice and just, you know, seeing if it works for you, because you might, you know, it might be one of those things where it might not be for you. You might be, you know, someone who's you might discover you like cycling or something like that. I mean, you know, there's just different things that you can do and try to just stick with it, I would say.
My biggest piece of advice is kind of starting where you are, because, you know, if you're new to running, you're not going to be able to go out and run 5 miles. I mean, you might not feel good afterward, but kind of just taking, you know, stock of where you are in your fitness and what you want to achieve in running, and kind of go from there. It's not going to be an overnight process, which is another, you know, thing. It's, you know, you can make small improvements each week, and that's, you know, those are your little goals, and you keep working towards them. But yeah, it's not a quick process, which sometimes is in this world of some, you know, instant gratification. It's one of those things. It is really about the process, and you have to be, I think, kind of willing to enjoy the process while you're going, because you end up learning a lot about yourself that you might not have known before.
Thank you again, Natalie and Connor, for talking with me. And if you'd like to give them a follow, or if there was something that intrigued your interest, scroll down to the episode notes below. Make each day your own masterpiece. Don't limit yourself. And remember, every day is a good day to run. I'll see you out on the road.